Everybody, welcome back to Vinyl Scoop. You just got a little taste into what Making Yours is all about. That was the song Save Me. And I absolutely love that song. It's like a anthem about like trying to find that person that will always be by your side, no matter what you go through.
Yeah, and I love how the whole album is just like a journey of that. Because when you start out with like Easy Way Out, it's him trying to piece together like, what to do after like a breakup or separation, and he seems like he's in this state of just not knowing what to do and like feeling like he can just put it off and it'll be fine. But what I love about the album is how it does one of those things where it transitions from one song straight into the next, super seamlessly.
Perfect
and
transition.
It works so well with like how the song flows too, because then Easy Way Out goes into somebody that he used to know, and it's him realizing no, like he can't just ignore it and not do anything, that he has to confront it. Like these feelings do exist.
No, exactly. And the whole album, I don't know if you knew this, was a full piece dedicated to his father.
Wow.
Actually, that album art that you see is drawn by his father before he passed away.
Oh,
and
man.
It's just like an amazing, like abstract view. And the name Making Mirrors is just a metaphor for what we hope to create throughout our lives. And basically throughout the entire record, you hear that going through like Easy Way Out, dealing with like depression and trying to cope with those problems, and then going into something a little bit odder, going into like Stay the Art, which is actually a song talking about the features and the usage of this organ that him and his father would go by every like Sunday and play.
Wow.
So throughout the song, you'll hear him describe different presets he would use, and you would hear those presets as he says them come up.
I didn't realize that. That's incredible.
Yeah, he has this whole documentary online. Definitely everybody should go check it out. It's Making of Mirrors, and it goes through like the whole process. Especially one I found very interesting was, do you know the song Eyes Wide Open?
Yes, I loved that one.
I know that. I think that was his second hit single. It wasn't really a hit as Somebody I Used to Know. Somebody I Used to Know is like,
that was just, it was everywhere.
Exactly. And so this one was like a little underground, but it's pretty cool once you break down the instruments that are used, because he uses very unconventional ways of recording his songs, mostly by using just samples. Somebody I Used to Know was actually done by this Italian man during, I think, like the 70s. And he just found this record in a record store and sampled this awesome guitar loop. And that's what's the beginning and through.
Yeah, and that started the whole song. That's incredible.
Yeah, so with Eyes Wide Open, he did something really cool. Since he's in Australia, it's a lot of open space, and they have this really cool instrument, very unconventional. It's a fence that when you bang it with two sticks, it makes this really nice bass sound. So in the back of Eyes Wide Open, when it opens up, you'll hear like that bass sound opening it up, and it goes throughout the entire song. And you wouldn't have known it until like
someone tells you that. That's incredible.
Exactly. But when we dig a little bit deeper, so you said that you've listened to this like 2 days ago before this, just to get yourself like prepped up for this.
Yeah, I was listening to it before, and then actually realized I've definitely listened to some of the songs before, probably through like I'm not sure, maybe friends or just playing it in the background, but I didn't realize it was Gotye and the same person behind Somebody I Used to Know. But after listening through it, like those memories came back. Like, oh, I remember this, and that's helped because it's like each song has a really distinctive feel, and it helps with like the journey throughout the album.
Yeah, no, and one that I seem to always come back to. I don't know if you really got to the end of the album so much. I should have put it on the playlist. Also, everybody, if you want to listen to like a small selection of songs from the album, in the description there is a playlist link that you could go and maybe listen to it while you're listening to this to get like a feel for what we're talking about. But one song I always come back to is this song Bronte. I don't know if you have you listened
I haven't listened to that one yet.
Okay, it's the ending track off of the album, and it's talking about a passing of a neighbor's dog that he used to go and like play with and like just hang out with his family friends, and like this dog would just always be there. And it's about the passing of him. So it's talking a lot about, again, like the loss of somebody. It's the same theme that goes out the entire album. But you don't get the sense that it's a dog. You know, you could put into any situation. Maybe you're going through something where you're in a loss, and it can bring you back up. And I feel like that's why I always come back to it.
Yeah. And it's something that you can always like keep in the back. Like, so if you were going through something, you could just put that on, and like whatever the situation, it's so like malleable to what you could apply it to, which is like really fantastic on the writer's part.
And I think that's why this album is so interesting, because I don't think many people have listened to this whole album. They only know somebody used to know, and like when they hear the name Gotye, they're like,
they don't know
that one hit wonder, or like, who's that?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if a lot more people were to listen to this album, they could get a lot out of it, because even though there are some really deep cuts in this that are very odd, like there's one song that's like his perspective of like a stalker. It's very odd.
Which
like,
one was that one?
It's like throughout. It's like near the ending of the album.
Don't worry, we'll be watching you.
Yeah, exactly. When the first time I listened to that, I was very like creeped out. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
It feels like a weird one to slip in there.
Exactly. It's kind of like off-putting from like the rest of the feel of the album, because a lot of it is a lot like joyful.
Yeah,
especially in like In Your Light.
In Your Light is a very, very fun song to listen to.
Sorry.
The upbeat pace of it.
Yeah.
The way like it works, like the melody into it. Just,
The same with the literally the song before it, I Feel Better. Like it's going through his whole psyche, and like seeing like the transition between each song. It just the album as a whole, you have to listen from front to back. Listening to it in shuffle is just gonna be
I didn't do that.
Very confusing with like the different feels, but definitely a great pick, I have to say.
Yeah. And I just love how musically creative each track was. Like, which one was, I think it was State of the Art that uses the auto-tune voice.
Yes.
So just having like completely random thing, like it wouldn't seem like these elements would mesh
like
together.
Very unconventional.
Yeah, especially at the time. Like this was when
2013?
2011.
2011. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Like I don't think a lot of people were using autotune like that.
Well,
but
yeah,
because he uses it in a really in a way where like it brings out the feeling of the song, and not just like as a way, because most people back in like 2011 were using it to make it seem like they can sing when they can't. But no, he uses it as like an element of the song, and it works really well.
No, exactly. It gets the feel of throughout the entire song. It's very electronic.
Yeah.
So him using that digitizer, or like that auto tune, it really doesn't feel out of place, and it just the whole thing is seamless, like you said, going in between each song, even those weirder cuts like that.
Yeah.
But no, definitely everybody, you should go check out Gotye's Making Mirrors. It's a very old album, but you're gonna notice a lot of times on the show we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into vinyl, and also like different albums that you may have not heard of, especially like this one. So now that we're coming to a little bit of a close here, do you have any musical suggestions, any artists, any albums, any songs that you want the people out there to hear about?
So if I can share just a little bit of my personal music taste, like I'd love hard rock, alternative, like maybe close to metal. But this one band I want to shout out, they just put out their first album a few months ago called Okay Goodnight. Okay. And it's a completely new like indie startup one. And it's the whole album, their first album, Limbo, is extremely, extremely creative. It's a mix between a lot of, if you're a fan of Paramore, you're going to love it, because it's around the same style of like hard alternative rock with a strong female lead vocalist. And it's a really interesting mix of like, not slow, but like really interesting instrumentals, and then like those hard, fast-paced songs with a female lead, and it's just really, really good. Highly recommend it.
Nice. And so, what was the band again?
Yes, Okay Goodnight, and their album's called Limbo.
Nice. All right. Speaking of Paramore,
yes,
a little bit off topic. I just want to get into some music news a little bit. Have you listened to Hayley Williams' solo?
She put out a solo?
You didn't know
I did
about
not
this?
hear this. When was this?
This was last Friday. She released it, but for the past, I think, month, she's been releasing singles. The new album is Petals for Armor 1. It seems like she's going to be putting out different EPs. And it's definitely taking a more darker tone than Paramore was. If you listened to After Laughter, the last thing was very upbeat and all that kind of stuff. This is going deeper into her psyche. I was listening to Zane Lowe on Beats One. Yeah, he was talking about he was talking to her, and they were just like being very deep about like being an adult and like dealing with the certain problems that come with that. And this EP definitely reflects that. So definitely check out that. Check out all the stuff that's.
Oh man, yeah, I'm
on the
gonna do that as soon as this finishes.
But
That's exciting.
anyway, guys, we'll be having a next guest on next week. Whole new layout of different records and hopefully new experiences.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Joe, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No
It was a
problem.
great time.
All right. That's been Vinyl Scoop. See you guys next time. Peace. I hate that you have to hit that twice.